Hello everybody, I've been off the air for a long time. Welcome back to Buying Hijack. This is a special series where I can show you the applications of all the things I have talked to you in the past. But what you're looking at is actually a live patient audience which we have protected their identity. The topics that I've always been trained with is to show people that there's hope and that the actual applications of all these concepts can help people, no matter how down in life you are. So my name is Dr. Lado, okay? As you know me, I'm the medical director of this hospital. I've been practicing for almost 25 years. My background is mostly, I'm a pharmacist, so being a pharmacy, I can employ information about drugs to help people. I also do clinical trials on new treatments. I used to be a surgeon once. I did a year of surgery in which I was able to see all aspects of the human body, okay? And then eventually I became a psychiatrist. I came into this profession and this particular specialty because sometimes we believe that we can choose the things we want, and how many realize that sometimes the best things come to you without you planning? How many would agree? So often we plan things that really don't come, right? It really comes to you what's best for you. So sometimes we have to trust what comes to you and what the world brings. So be that as it may, I just want to recapitulate or resume what we're talking about. We all agree that you all have something in common. Somewhere in your life, your childhood was stolen. Things were taken away from you. You were beaten. You were only a child and trauma came to you, or you were abandoned by the people you love. So one of the biggest emotional problems you all have is trust. You don't trust because when you were little, all you knew was it was about love and innocence. You wanted to play in this world, and all you worried about was playing, eating, and having a stable home. And for whatever reason, all of you at some point did not have it or was taken away. I call you highly sensitive people. You're here because of drug addiction, not because you're failures. It's because you're really sensitive and you could not tolerate the pain of all these things. And then when it came your time, as you grew up, sometimes you begin to explore alcohol, and then you realize that calmed you. And the reason that calmed you, because all that trauma that you've been through, if you remember, anxiety. Anxiety is a horrible emotion that does destruction to your nervous system. It causes depression. And if you have so much anxiety in the form of trauma, you can lose touch of reality. And you have been let down by us, the system. I often get angry with my profession because if we did our jobs correctly, you would not be jumping from hospital to hospital. How many would agree to that? Almost everybody. Every time you went to a facility, something different was done. Some treatment was different. I always tell my patients, if something works for you, there's no need to change it. But what happens is that in this profession, even though we're well trained, I don't think that the left hand talks to the right hand. And see how we can help people. And you've been let down. The system is broken. You're not bad people. Not only is it broken, but you have society that calls you on the side. They don't see you as one. Many of you had to survive in the streets. because you lost your innocence. You lost your family, and you discovered the horrible world of drugs. The drugs that you thought would calm you down temporarily. Many of you have lost friends with overdoses because the most potent drug that kills anxiety are the painkillers, right? Heroin, fentanyl. As you know, there's a mass epidemic in this country. Why is such a drug like heroin so powerful and so people dependent on it? Because it kills your pain. You're not deplorables. You're highly sensitive people that your emotions and your generosity, and many of you I know that even though you have no money, you would see somebody on the streets and you would take out your dollar for that meal that day to give to that person. How many would do that here? Everybody. It doesn't make you a bad person. But because you have been in survival mode, and because you've been betrayed, and your anger gets the best of you. Look around. There's no color here. There's no race. We live in a world of division where hatred turns one person against another. In this room, you all have a life story that is very unique, and you have seen things that most humans never get to see. And you're still here. And many of you have died and come back from overdoses. How many? Quite a few. And then you ask yourself, why did I come back? Because we all have a purpose. We all have a purpose, and one of the reasons that we continue to use drugs is because when you have no purpose, there's no hope. And right around the corner is your drug dealer. He knows exactly what you're needing. And you fail to do one thing that's given to you from birth. You have intuition. You know that something bad is going to happen. You're not born without tools. You have God-given tools, and you do not know how to use it. Many of you are empathic. You can feel things. How many? Almost everybody. But it's confused with fear, envy, greed, jealousy. And unfortunately, many of you have lost your families and your children. And many men here feel shameful that they have not reconnected. And if you look back when you were children, how many of you lost your parents? And how many of you would have forgiven them if they came back? So why do you do this to your children? There's nothing shameful, because the process of healing is about forgiveness. No matter what your religious background, you know that if you ask, you will get. You know that if you forgive, you'll be forgiven. I dare you, next time you're in a difficult situation, close your eyes, ask for help, and walk away. We're all in the same. Last night I was very saddened what happened, because it doesn't matter who it is. It shames me and it brings me pain when I see two brothers and sisters that have the same background, Let anger take control. All it takes is to shake hands and forgive me. How many of you done that? Forgive. You can't let this darkness take away from your ability to heal. You know, I think I told the story once before. I have witnessed death as a doctor, and I had to pronounce death as a doctor. And I've been by the side of people who have died to give them comfort. And one of the things they tell me, you know, Doc, I should have said I love you. I should have said forgive me. You don't want to die with that emotion. At the end, we're all going to die, but not this way. Dying alone in an overdose, and you seeing people die, is very sad and traumatic. You're better people than you realize. So stop the self-pity. It is self-pity that drives you to drug. It is one of the triggers. Who would agree? Guilt, right? Emotions that bring your soul down. Why is the system broken? Because your brains have been damaged from the trauma and the emotions and the drug. Why is the system broken? Because we doctors have a responsibility to put your brain together so you can have more emotional experiences, so you can heal. Why is the system broken? Because sometimes I see things that I don't like. Often you go to an emergency room and all you have to say, you're psychiatric, and what happens? Right? You kind of put on the side. He's here for drugs. He's here for... You've been stigmatized. Did you know all it takes is one healing person at a time? You impact the lives of many. And you have so much experience. My dream, if you all become sponsors, to go out there and tell people what not to do in meetings. This is why we encourage people who are successful. The purpose of AA meetings is to hear people who have struggled and show them that you can get out of this. This is not the end, although you may feel that way. You've all committed things, steal, because you had to survive. You betrayed your families because you had to survive. You got to forgive yourselves. Forgive yourself because you're not bad people. You're highly sensitive people that really care. Your perpetrator, it is not for you to judge. That perpetrator already has been judged. The people who have done harm to you, say goodbye to them. Because every time you bring that anger, you give them power. You give them life with the thought that they still exist in your soul. And guess what? They're still winning. Each one of you are a unique story. Some are veterans, and they've seen a lot of pain and suffering. We don't like to kill. We don't like wars. And some of us are veterans. And it pains them to see somebody die or kill somebody, because we're not designed to do that. We're not designed to hurt others. But the emotions of greed, division, and hatred. And there are forces out there. Have you been in a crowd? All it takes is one person, and that person, even though they may not mean it, can provoke anger because he's angry or she's angry, and he or she does not understand this anger. We're all human beings. When you see somebody angry, imagine them as a child. What happened to them that they're like this? They suffered. You forgive them. So when you see somebody in a rage, start asking yourself, oh my goodness, what have they done to that person as a kid? You're good people. Nobody's going to love you if you don't love yourself. Please, do not feed into anger. Do not let your treatment be destroyed by anger. Medication's purpose is to put your brain together so you can have wonderful experiences. Every time we walk, we always look at the ground, don't we? Have you tried looking at the sky? How beautiful it is? Do you think that worrying is going to cure your problems? Ask more. Pray more. And you will see results. Don't wake up with negativity in your mind. Negativity is the devil's lover. People think that evil has horns, that is some kind of wicked monster, right? But evil is more deceptive. Evil comes in many forms. It comes in the form of hatred, greed, anger. And it uses vehicles to get you closer to that dark side. Cocaine, drugs, porn. It sucks you in to that world. You gotta find your spiritual and religious self. All these books that were written for thousands of years across the continents of the earth, even though they may have different languages, it serves one purpose. No matter what you read, and if you read many, many books of all decrees, it talks about love. The Hindu texts, the Quran, the Torah, the New Testament. Ask any. One word that stands out is love. Even though it's designed for different regions, it was to show humanity how to love and respect one another. Are you permanently ill? No. You know why you're not permanently ill? Because the brain has incredible regenerating capacity of healing. All that's required is a stable medication environment so you can have emotional experiences and not use drugs. And yes, like the roots of a tree, the brain does the same. If you eliminate all that toxicity, drugs, anger, hatred, stress, the tree and the root repairs itself. Living systems designed by the Creator were to enjoy life. Have you noticed how difficult it is to die no matter how much you try? Huh? How is it? Some of you have tried suicide and you fail because you're not designed to die. What does that tell you? Why am I still here? Because you were born into this earth to fulfill a mission. It doesn't have to be a writer or a poet. Your mission could be something as simple as helping another person in their struggles. And you have fulfilled that mission. When you find your spiritual purpose, you will no longer depend on drugs. I may sound like a preacher, but I am not. I am a medical psychiatrist with many years of experience and wisdom, because I have been privileged to see life and I have seen death. And now it's my time. You, of all people, which more and more are becoming with the drugs, an outcast in society. It saddens me when I see people asking for money in the streets, and I know it's not for eating, it is for drugs, and I don't stop for that because I know I'm going to give them drugs, and they lie. Their souls are lost. So what can you do with your life? I really hope you find the right doctor that can stabilize you and treat you. Now with this pandemic, beautiful things are happening, because in humanity, for every darkness that we get, the light comes. We have learned many things from this pandemic, but I'm only going to focus on yours. I know many. The ability to take care of you from faraway distances by telemedicine. It's a miracle, because one of the biggest problems that you all have, you can't get treatment when you leave here. You can't get a good psychiatrist. You can't get, because they're not there or they're busy, and there's a shortage in our profession. But with this thing now, you can continue your care. If you get a place to live, be grateful for the shelter, for the food. Don't let somebody come in and destroy your life. And evil is right outside the group home. They're lurking like a vulture, finding your weakness when you walk alone. And they come up to you and say, I'll give you a free hit. How many have seen that? And all you have to do, close your eyes, ask for help, and walk away. Those darkness. Have you ever seen the eyes of a drug dealer? It's cold as ice. It's frightening and yet powerful. Hypnotizing and captivating. Because that person's soul is no longer his, and it wants yours. And right in front of your face. No self-pity. Begin to love yourself. Begin to forgive yourself. Think hard of the people that love you and are missing you at this very moment. A grandson, a daughter. The same that was done to you, you're doing to them. Break the cycle in your family. It will perpetuate from generation to generation like the fig tree. Clean yourself up. Insist. Ask for forgiveness. And say, forgive me, my daughter. Let me prove to myself, I cannot help you with money. But what can I help you with? I really miss you. If you stole from somebody and they don't trust you, a kind gesture, perhaps you want to pay them back. You don't want to die like this. It is a horrible, lonely death. If I was on the other side and I was to wait for you and I help you cross over, I will hold your hand and ask you, what have you learned from this lifetime? What will you say? Did you learn to be strong? Did you learn to forgive? Did you learn to love? Did you learn not to be hard on yourself? We come to learn a lesson in this world. That's how the soul evolves. You got guidance everywhere. You got it here right now. But you just don't pay attention. Please, forgive one another in this place. I am saddened for the loss of someone that left to another place, but that person will come back, and I will help him again. Everybody to me I see are not bad. Find a place that you can be stable. Get a good psychiatrist and be consistent. Most of you have only a $700 budget, don't you? Or $800. And that's all you have to pay rent? To eat? The system is broken. They expect us to take care of this problem and help people. The resources are not there. In other countries, it is much worse. Believe me, here in America, we are truly blessed. Even though the system is broken, it is still a system. Please walk away and heal those people who are angry. You know, an angry person is angry because all they do is get rejected. But if you get close, you say, my brother, my sister, I am here for you. But if your brain plays tricks on you, you tell the psychiatrist, doctor, I'm always fearing that people are trying to hurt me. People are always out to get me. My brain is playing tricks on me. Nothing is wrong with that. That is just a malfunction. It's brain tissue. It's not your soul. A brain, the soul needs a healthy brain to evolve.